to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, a Washington football podcast by fans for fans. With your hosts, Jesse Martin.
You want to play what? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
John Taman.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
And Keith Gray.
The King, your Majesty.
And now here's your host, John Taman.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Victory Tuesday here on, episode 62? Is that what we got here? The Bleeding Burgundy podcast. And if it's not episode 62, fucking sue me. I don't care. We beat the Seattle Seahawks on Monday Night Football. We exorcised the ghosts of Monday Night Football. We dominated that game in every way except for the scoreboard. How you doing today, Jesse?
I'm doing all right, man. A little worse for wear. It was an exciting game, even if the scoreboard didn't really dictate it. I heard some complaints just listening to the radio today. JP Fraudley was like, it was kind of a boring game. I didn't think so one bit, man. It was very, very
it was physical.
It was.
They were hitting hard out there.
It was fun. I got upgraded seats, so I was right on the 50-yard line, like up close and personal to the seeing the reactions coming off the coming off the field. They were pumped. When defense made a big play, they'd come off and you can like hear them talking and dapping each other up. It was pretty cool. So we got to win. I mean, we didn't necessarily play the best, but I think we pretty much dominated. We needed a game like this to maybe kind of cool our not expectations, but so it shows that the team can win. Yeah. So but it also shows that the team can win these types of games.
Well, yeah, I tweeted that earlier this morning. It was an ugly win, but when you're showing growth in a team like we are right now, you should be able to win an ugly game. All right. If you go into against a team that's laying a fat egg like they are, I don't care whether the score was this close. I mean, it was that close because of one busted coverage by DeShazer Everett, which was god awful, mind numbing. But other than that, they dominated that entire game. And for those folks that wanted to say that this game was boring, I'm sorry, man, but I'll tell you what, the tone was set on the first drive when Gibson got his freaking head knocked in by Bobby Wagner, just clocked him, struck him straight down like he hit a brick wall. And from that point on, the entire game was like that. And one of the things that I really liked was our running game just kept hammering into that line, just kept smacking. I mean, halftime it was a 1 yard gain or a half a yard gain, all of that physicality in there, just cracking them. And then pop, he gets a nice, what did he have, 123 yards, something like that. He had a hell of a good game, Gibson did.
I think
almost 30 carries.
Like 136 total yards. But yeah, it was definitely a physical game.
We had two rushing touchdowns from McKissick.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in a little while, I'm sure. But also, I don't know how it looked like on TV. I mean, I did watch the game. I was kind of dozing in and out today because I took the day off of work because it was a night game and getting home at 3 o'clock in the morning. But the crowd, there was more people at this game than there has been all year long, which was really cool to see. I was kind of wondering about that for Monday night. Monday night games are not the easiest to get to, especially if you're working.
People are still late getting in their damn seats. This drives me up a wall with our crowd, man. Y'all get your asses up and get in the damn stadium. Get up at 12 o'clock noon and walk into the stadium or whatever. If it's a Monday night game, don't dilly-dally. Don't be in line when the game starts. What's the matter with you?
Yeah. It's kind of ridiculous. They open the gates up early for for a reason. So get your ass to the game.
Yeah. I'm not asking you to sit in your seat for 2 hours waiting for kickoff, but God damn it, be there for kickoff, man. Be there for the first drive, especially if we're on defense. You got to be loud.
Yeah.
But one thing I did notice about the crowd was it seemed that it was predominantly Washington football team crowd. It wasn't the usual big crowd in FedEx as half the other team. I heard a
Sure.
few smatterings for the Seahawks, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, all the Seahawks fans were actually behind the Seahawks bench, and that was very noticeable, especially because all the Seahawks fans were there before the game started. So, I mean, picture
Seahawks
that.
brought them with them.
But I was like, at first, I mean, I always get, I pretty much go into the games when, about 20 minutes after the gates open. I like to let the initial flood go through, because I'm in, the parking lot, tailgating and stuff.
Prostituting yourself.
Yeah, but I was at first, because there was only so many people in the stands. I look across the field, and I was like, man, I can't believe how many Seahawks fans are here, because I didn't see any Seahawks fans walking around the stadium. I mean, you saw a few. There was like two in my section that was close to me. But yeah, when they came out onto the field to warm up, you heard it was a loud ruckus. But other than that, when the stadium started filling in, it was all Washington fans. So that was good to see.
I thought that the Seahawks probably bust those people in themselves. That's why they were in the stadium before. They didn't give them any kind of a per diem. They couldn't go anywhere. They had to stand in the stadium and hold those stupid 12 flags and act like they cared. I'll tell you, Russell Wilson. I said the other day, he is Russell Wilson. He is Russell Wilson. He is Russell Wilson. And right now, he's Russell Wilson with freaking 9 fingers and one of them that has no idea what it's doing. He was missing receivers.
He did
by
not
miles.
Look good at all. Yeah.
I kept thinking, how is it you're actually better right now than if you just put Geno Smith in there? Because he couldn't hit guys that were open. I mean, the ball is sailing 5-10 yards over their head. It was crazy.
It wasn't until really that one busted coverage play and then the last drive, of the game, is when he looked like Russell Wilson. I think there's a huge disconnect between him and Pete Carroll, and then his finger's not totally healed.
Pete Carroll's not telling him, okay, go out there and overthrow these guys by 50 yards.
Yeah. But when you only target DK Metcalf one time the entire game, something's going on.
That's been going on for several weeks now. In fact, in my fantasy league, not the one that I'm in with you, but I traded him, and I traded him for Ramondre Stevenson, the running back for the Patriots. And dude was laughing. Ha ha ha! I got over on you, and I'm like, okay, you'll see, man. This dude's not getting the ball, and not only is he not getting the ball, but he's acting up on the sidelines when he doesn't get the ball. And they were mentioning it on ESPN last night during the game, and I think you said you watched the broadcast today. You heard it. They kept mentioning it, that they haven't targeted him, and when they did target him, they forced it. He had the one catch, and I think they targeted him maybe 3 times. And the first time they targeted him, it was because Steve Levy was up there bawling about it for the last 20 minutes, and they forced one to him. The only other time I thought that they ever did anything other than the busted coverage on Kevin Lockett and the busted coverage on whoever the other guy was it Everett? Who scored at the end of the game? No, not the end of the game.
I don't think it was necessarily a busted coverage. They were just playing really soft zone, and they
Everett let him run right by him. He didn't know where he was.
It was just an open. I don't know. I didn't see it all that well.
I'll tell you what it was. There was supposed to be a crossover and a trade off, and Everett said, "I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. I'll stand right here," and he let him run right on by, man.
Was that the last drive?
Yeah, that was after Collins got hurt and was out of the game. Okay. So Everett was forced in and let that happen. But and then they got the onside kick. I mean, it was looking like, oh my God, here we go. Yeah.
Oh shit! Imagine being at the stadium at that moment. Bet. I mean, dominating the whole fucking game, and then that happens. Oh,
well, on the second onside kick, the guy that missed it the first time, who was that? Was that the linebacker, 59? I can't remember his damn name off the top of my head. He missed the ball completely. It flew right over his shoulder. And then the second time, when the guy kicked it, he ignored the ball entirely. And I'm like, no, stupid, get the ball. A, stupid, get the ball. B, why the fuck is he over there? This is the hands team, right? Why is he over there? I don't know what the hell he was doing there. But we luckily got the second one back. That would have been the most, like you guys said last week, the most Redskins thing that could
Yeah.
possibly happen. Would have been that.
And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, my feelings did not change all week long. You know, even before game time, I was hanging out with the hog farmers, and me and Joe were talking. He was like, well, what do you think about this game? I was like, I think we're gonna lose this game. I had a fucking pit in my stomach, like the entire drive up there. The entire time
that was the Wendy's you bought before you left the house.
The entire time tailgating, I'm like, man, I said something's gonna happen, and I'll be honest with you. I know we're gonna dive into Taylor Heinecke, but he didn't look good in the beginning.
Nah, not really.
He kind of reverted back to his ways of being a little bit off target, floating some passes, and I wasn't until probably middle of the first or second quarter so I started thinking maybe we can pull this thing out, because the defense was definitely on point, and
they didn't let him move in the second half. They were like, fuck this, you can hold the ball for a minute, but you're not doing anything with it.
So I mean, even when we got that blocked you know, extra point, which wasn't on Sly again.
No, they jailbroke on the right side.
So which sucks that he got hurt. And that's the play he initially got hurt on, because he was
the most Redskins thing ever, right? We got Captain Perfect out there, and he busts up his hamstring running after the goddamn guy that blocks his kick.
Even that at that point, you would think the momentum would have swung, but it really didn't at all. So it's good.
Same
to
with
see
the Panthers game.
Yeah, it's good to see that these guys they don't fucking quit. They're scrappy, and they can beat you in many ways.
Well, they believe they can, and that's what I was saying last week about the Panthers game. At no point was I worried. Even though, I mean, okay, Cam makes a nice run. Panthers are okay. They're looking pretty good. I'm not worried, because I got confidence that we can move the ball, and we were moving the ball. And last night, even though Heinecke really wasn't playing all that well, we moved the ball again.
Yeah, and
we moved the ball in different ways. The running game, like I said earlier, it was like watching a prize fighter, man. Jab, 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 hook, wham. And then, you know, when he come around with that hook, we get that 5 or 6 yard run, that 8 yard run where he just slams into those linebackers. And I was very impressed. The offensive line, I think, did quite well, except for Mr. $18 million All-Pro.
Oh man,
dude,
I'm getting so tired of him.
Penalties, 2 penalties,
and he's whiffing too at one screen. He totally like just gave up on the fucking play, and we're sitting there just thinking like, what the fuck are you doing, Sheriff? Like, seriously, what are you doing?
Counting his money. He was counting his money, and he can't run as fast because his wallet's too fat.
I'm gonna protest if he makes the Pro Bowl this year.
I stopped giving a shit about the Pro Bowl when fans got to be able to vote, because, you know, this stuff in the ballot box bullshit is ridiculous. Vote for guys that belong in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
you know? That other fan bullshit. That's for Major League Baseball. And I should also add that the All-Star game in Major League Baseball is a game that people actually watch and give a shit about. The Pro Bowl, nobody fucking cares.
Nope.
The only people that care about the Pro Bowl, the only reason they care about that is because the freaking agent says, I can get you more money if you get a Pro Bowl nod.
Yeah, you know? That, and I think they get a little bit of extra a boost in their check too. So
yeah, they get their Pro Bowl check. But all right, so Taylor Heinecke, he won the game. He had one interception.
Yeah, and I'm not
he made plays, I think, when he needed to.
I don't know if I want to put that interception necessarily on him. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it to Logan Thomas. It was probably a little bit high, but I think, you know,
well, the linebacker tipped it, and that's why when the freaking safety slammed into him, you couldn't call defenseless receiver anymore, because the ball had already been tipped. It was a live ball. So I that one was a little ill-timed, but at the same time, I don't mind his confidence. You know, I'd rather he be a little more confident. That's going to happen every once in a while. I don't want him to be reckless, but he was able to overcome the things that I didn't like. Were in the early parts of the first quarter, he was really missing badly.
Yes.
We're so lucky that Terry hasn't gotten himself killed having to fly up in the air like that to try to get one of those balls. He had Terry open deep, and people were calling about a possible pass interference, which I really didn't think so. Terry just made a really awkward play on the ball. And it kind of went off. It didn't go off his hands, but it went a little over his hands. I thought he could have made a better play on the ball.
Yeah,
So,
definitely early. He was missing. Like they don't always show everything on the TV, but there was definitely opportunities for plays to be made, and that got me worried a little bit, especially
whack it
earlier in the
off over
game.
there. Jesus Christ.
No, that was Duke.
Let's say, holy
Um,
shit.
uh, he
Good
uh,
boy, Duke.
he definitely had opportunities to make some big plays and missed them. It kind of reminded me of earlier on in the season, but he settled down, and he played a safe game. He needed a game like this too to maybe not necessarily bring down his confidence, but just to kind of put out there that he's not perfect.
No. Yeah, he didn't have a good night. And I mean, that's okay. He won. And
Yeah.
because he was able to rely on the defense, he was able to rely on a running game. And fine. If you're going to have a slip up and you're not going to have a good day where you don't play too well, that's fine. Have it done last night instead of Sunday against the Raiders, which is looking like a very, very tough game. And I'm expecting that you are
Yes.
probably pissing your pants about it right now.
Oh, we're gonna lose that game. I'm just gonna let you know right now.
I'm so glad you said that. All right. So what did you learn about this team last night?
They're resilient. And what I learned most is that
Duke says, wait a minute. No, that's not it. Resilient.
You want to turn? You want to talk? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he does.
Kiddo. That we can beat teams in a lot of different ways. And I know I mentioned this earlier, but I think now you're seeing exactly what Ron Rivera wants this team to be. They want to be able to manhandle you and muscle you and run the clock out. Listen to this, man. They
had another long drive at the end of the fourth quarter.
Listen,
it was the end of the fourth quarter by the time they gave up the ball.
Listen to this. We had 79 total plays. Okay.
Yeah.
79 total plays on offense. Guess how many Seattle had?
Something like 40.
45 plays.
That's
We
crazy.
held the ball for 41 minutes and 40 seconds, and Seattle had it for only 18 minutes and 20 seconds. Think about that for a second.
You gotta put up more points for that.
You do, absolutely, 100%. And we
that's
very
dominant.
well could have. I think I wish Gibson, there's 3rd and 1s that we got stopped on a couple times. I kind of put that on Gibson a little bit. There was other holes that he could have gone on and hit. I think he hit the wrong hole, knowing that Ishmael was in there. And he's probably the weakest link out of the whole entire offensive alignment. And
their defensive tackles were definitely freaking bursting through on those running plays
Yeah.
and commanding the line of scrimmage on a lot of those plays. So yeah, I would say Ishmael being in there, other people shuffled around, or Scherf playing like he.
Yeah,
couldn't give a shit.
and Sheriff was it was a very, very disappointing game for Brandon Sheriff. He
2 key penalties, 2 killer penalties.
killer penalties and killer missed blocks that stopped drives as well. And one that was on a screen.
Yeah.
It would have gone at least 25 yards if he would have stayed on. He just like gave up on the fucking block.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there like, what the fuck are you doing? Are you serious? And so as far as the scoring, I'm not too worried about us not scoring more points. We could have, we should have, and
Scored enough.
We scored enough to win. And I think, stuff like that can be fixed later on. But yeah, as far as Heinecke goes, he was, pedestrian. He made he did his little magic a couple times to get out of
oh yeah, he did. He played some Houdini acts.
Yeah.
He was
Out of
like,
some
now you
sticky
see me, now you don't.
situations.
Holy shit. Yeah, he was definitely in some sticky situations.
And he was only sacked one time. So
he almost got out of that one too.
Yeah. So even though the offensive line probably played their worst game, they still played pretty goddamn good.
They played well enough. The worst play I thought from him was I think it was actually even a completed pass, but it was an intermediate out pattern. It wasn't a deep out. It wasn't a short little quick out. It was like a 10-yard, 12-yard out. And man, he threw that fucking thing like it's just a cloud floating over there. Just flying over there as slow as it can possibly go. And I'm thinking, shit, even that clown on ESPN, well, Lewis Riddick's not a clown, but even Brian Greasy, who couldn't fucking throw his way out of a wet paper bag, was saying, look, you've got to put some zip on that ball. So all of you people, when you hear us say that he doesn't have an NFL arm, that's why. All right?
Yeah.
He can't make that throw. And that's a throw you need to be able to make. But I'm not going to bag on him in any way. He overcame a lot of shit. They won the game. He played well enough to win the game.
Yeah.
And I think that they went out there yesterday with the idea that, okay, we're going to take their defense and we're going to punch them in the mouth. And then we're going to punch them in the mouth again. And then we're going to punch them in the mouth again. And then we're going to kick them in the balls and kick them in the ass and run right over them. And they did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love it. That was good football.
Yeah. I mean, Gibson is turning, you're seeing him turn into like a power back that can fucking move.
I saw some speed on him too.
Yeah.
Tell you what, that run that he had down the sidelines that got popped by Scherf's holding call, man. He put on some jets on that play, even though it came back.
And you're starting to see him more involved in the passing game as well, which is really, really good to see. McKissick, man, he's so quick. His lateral movements, he can hit the hole so fucking fast. Shout out to the fan that fucking
threw Gerald Everett out of the game.
Threw Gerald Everett out.
He gets my game ball.
Yes, definitely.
He gets a game ball for sure. That they ought to have gone right down there and given him tickets forever in that spot. That's your fucking spot. You bought it, you own it.
Yeah. So that was good. That pumped the sideline up too. It was fun to see.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good individual plays. I'm hoping McKissick, he did tweet out saying that he's okay. I hope he doesn't miss time because it looked bad at the stadium.
I didn't really see what happened to him. I mean,
neither did we.
Concussion, and I mean, he was laying on the ground, but as soon as he was down on the ground, he was moving around. I saw him; his legs were moving and all that. So I thought, okay, it's not in the replay. It almost looked like a compression in the neck. He probably got a stand. Yeah,
that's what.
And they're probably just being way too cautious.
That's what the stadium when they did their announcements and stuff, they were saying neck injury. That, him moving around, walking around, his agent tweeting out that he's okay. I guess the test came back negative. So hopefully he doesn't miss time.
Down the arm.
Yeah. So hopefully
that zapper down his fingertips.
Hopefully he doesn't miss any time because we need him. He's definitely a major piece on this offense.
He's quick. I mean, you saw some jets and you saw some power out of Gibson, but man, the quickness that you see out of McKissick is really something. That first touchdown run, dude, he weaved in and out.
Yeah.
And my son Max, speaking of shout outs, wants me to make sure I shout out the Captain Groin, whose name I can't even fucking remember right now because I'm sitting here, my brain's going a mile a minute. Who's the Groin? Samuel, right? Curtis Samuel. Jesus Christ. Curtis Samuel threw the monster block that sprung McKissick into the end zone.
Yeah.
So big shout out to Curtis. To Curtis Samuel, Captain freaking Pat McGroin. Which was nice to see. His groin was healthy. I was glad to see.
Yeah, it's good to see out there. And I'm glad we didn't see. He was only out there for about 20 plays. I don't want him overused right now because I think we're going to need him down the line. I don't want a bunch of film out on him, to be honest with you. I'd like to save him until we get to the NFC East part of our schedule to just use him as an extra weapon. So, maybe another 20 or 30 plays next week, 20 or 30 snaps next week. The snaps that he got, that one block that he did was great. He had a first down catch. That's
a couple of
good.
the little jet sweeps that they gave him. I like that he was able to pick through traffic and turn on some speed. That was good to see. So I can say groin one more time. His groin didn't seem to be bothering him there. Groin.
Logan Thomas getting back.
I thought he caught that ball.
He did.
That was a call.
There's no way.
The point of the ball touched the ground, but it didn't move, and he had his wrist curled up underneath it. He had control of that.
Look,
ball.
all the angles in the in the stadium, he called that goddamn. There's no way there was enough evidence to overturn.
That's the problem.
On the field was a touchdown.
That's right.
Plain and
that's
simple.
The problem with me. There was not enough there to say you could overturn it because even though, the point of the ball touched the ground. It did not alter the trajectory of the ball. It did not bounce the ball. He had complete control of that ball.
Yeah.
Ball and groin are my two favorite words in this segment of the show right now.
But
Jesus Christ.
he showed a little bit of rust, but it's good to get him back because we need him because he's a huge red zone target for Taylor Heinecke.
Tell you what, the big pass, I think it was on fourth down. The big pass to DeAndre Carter down to like the 15-yard line. Thomas almost effed that all up, man. He was in the wrong spot, or they had their routes crossed a little early, and he thought it might have been for him, and it went over his hands. He thought about it just at the last second. I better pull my hands back. And it's a good thing he did because Carter made the nice play down there. Carter took some shots last night too, man.
He made me a little bit nervous.
Those boys are bruised today.
He bobbled that ball. And he's been doing it a couple, last week when Troy Apke saved him versus Carolina, and then again this time, 2 times he bobbled the ball, and it could have been a catastrophe. So he needs.
Apke actually had a pretty good night. I saw him. That's how you know Apke had a good night. I saw him. Well, I mean, we punted more last night than we have lately.
That's true.
So, you got to see a little bit more. Cam Sims had a nice tackle on special teams, and I noticed that on 2 of the fair catches, Apke was really right down in the dude's face, as the ball was coming in. So, got to give him something like that. If the guy decides to catch it, Apke's going to pay himself and not make the tackle, but he got there.
Well, let's talk about this defense.
All right. Let's talk about this defense. Who was impressive to you on this?
Landon Collins was all over the goddamn field yesterday. Yep. Very impressive. I think he's starting to come into his own, even though he doesn't like to be labeled as linebacker.
He doesn't like it.
But that's where he's best suited to fucking play.
And you saw it in a couple of plays where he got isolated outside and running with a tight end. And he got beat down the sidelines. He got beat for like a 12-yard gain for a first down. So do what you're good at, dude. And what you're good at, you're really good at it, man. Crash that fucking line. Get in there and cause a ruckus. And he sure as hell does.
But when you force 5 3-and-outs in a row, back to back of Russell Wilson, that's doing something.
In the second half. Collins punched a fumble out too.
Yeah.
So that was really good. Yeah. And that was off of their turnover when they took it from us. They intercepted the ball down by the goal line. So that was good to get that taken back like that.
But 5 3-and-outs in a row, that's pretty goddamn good. Going up against Russell Wilson. I was pretty excited about that.
Well, I was excited about it too. But the fact of the matter is Wilson can't throw. I don't care what anybody's trying to say, man. He missed guys last night that it was just like, God damn, have you ever even played this game before? When you're watching how bad these balls are missing these guys, and their running game went absolutely nowhere. I called that guy Brady last night with, like for his braids. But Jesus Christ. How can you not just snatch him down by his hair, man? What the fuck are you doing running around out there with a blanket hanging off your head like that?
The only thing I nit to pick, I guess, is I wish we would have gotten Russell Wilson down more than 2 times. I think we sacked him twice. But that Shaka-Tony sack was awesome. He just fucking just pushed his ass and fucking.
Oh yeah, he shoved him down like he didn't even care. He was like, get the hell out.
Bitch, get the fuck out of here, motherfucker.
Shaka-Tony played 5 snaps. He did that, and then he ran him down from behind one time. I mean, freaking monster took him down. You saw those arms extend. It looked like, holy shit, it's a hawk taking him out.
Yeah. Yeah, and Shaka-Tony's not necessarily a big guy either, but he's got some big arms, and he's definitely quick. I don't think Russell was pressured, as much as Brady and Cam Newton. He still gets out though.
He escapes, and he was doing that last night too. He was escaping up through little crevices and moving out into open areas. But they were getting a little pressure on him, but.
Our game keys, thinking back on our game keys from last week, Del Rio listened to me when I called him, and he took what I said to heart.
Well, he listens to us for Keith's gas price updates.
Yeah,
that's why. Tunes in for that.
And he did exactly what we thought he should do: contain Russell Wilson. He's going to get his here and there.
The only thing they have.
But yeah, and they did exactly that. And then on the flip side of it, we said fucking run the hell out of the ball, and that's what we did. And it proved in the time of possession alone that they had their game plan. It was an obvious game plan.
They went out to fight.
Yeah.
They went out and they just they stood toe to toe and threw punches. I loved it. And I'll tell you what, Russell Wilson being the only weapon that they have, the only plays that he really made last night were the guys that had gotten through broken coverages and were wide the fuck open, like nobody around them for 20 yards. But everybody else in coverage, they got to play to eat DK Metcalf down the sidelines a little bit. But
for the most part, they kept everything in front of them. I mean,
you could see on that play, even Fuller was letting them stay in front of him. And I mean, he tried to make the play, but he just didn't get there in time. But still, when it came down to crunch time 2-point conversion, Fuller knew right where to stand, and Wilson threw it right effing to him. Right to him.
Wilson, it was he 20 for 31 for 233. You might look at that and be like, that's not a bad stat line. But if you look at it as a whole, and if you watch the game, you can
got like 133 yards with all but 2 plays, right?
Yeah. I mean, they were 30% on third downs. And so this defense is definitely on the upswing. I can't wait till Montez Sweat gets back, and hopefully within the next 2 weeks, he's going to come back, because I want some more sacks. I want to take these fucking quarterbacks. I want Dak Prescott jersey to be fucking grass
ripped
stained,
up, shredded.
That's
what I got to say this though about Sweat. I want him back too, but if he makes more comments about my wife, I'm gonna have to stick him again. All right.
If
I want to do that.
No offense to Hill and to James Smith-Williams and to Shaka Tony, they're doing a phenomenal job, but they're not like your edge rusher.
They're not wrecking the game.
Yeah.
Shaka Tony might be able to wreck a game. Like I said, he only got 5 snaps, man. And
maybe we'll
Tim
see.
Settle, I think, only got 6.
I think we're probably going to see a lot more Shaka Tony coming up. He'll get some more playing time if he keeps that up. So that's good. He was a pretty daggone good pass rusher at Penn State.
Hell yeah, he was. All right, so who gets your game ball besides the guy that shoved Gerald Everett out of the stands? That dude, he's immortalized.
There's a lot of game balls that could go around. So I'll start with the offense, and my game ball goes to Antonio Gibson. Yeah,
that's who I would have given it to as well on the offense. I would give a game ball to the offensive line, even though they kind of got beat up in pass protection. The Seahawks were blitzing a lot, but in the run game, shit, man, that's Gibson's first 100-yard game of the year.
Yeah.
And like I said, there was a lot of 1-yard gains that were just slugfests.
Yeah.
And
had 43 attempts. 43
they won the fight.
Attempts, 152 total rushing yards between McKissick, Gibson, and Patterson. And they averaged 3.5 yards a carry, which it's not like rocking your socks off. Just like with Tampa Bay, they only averaged for 2.9 yards a carry.
Right.
But they ran it 43 times.
That's the thing. They stood in the middle of the ring.
You're controlling the fucking game right there.
They stood there and they went toe to toe, and they just hammered with punch after punch after punch after punch. And nothing went for 50 yards. They didn't pop any big ones, but they popped 8-yard runs. They popped a 10 or 12-yard run when they needed one. They popped that 6-yard run. And that's what makes the big difference. It opens things up in the passing game too, not necessarily because you can really get them on play action, which I think that we really started to be able to do that, man. They were selling out early on the run. They had a lot of times they were run blitzing, and we were able, I thought, man, just pull it in, throw it deep. But it's the fact of the matter is those guys get tired, man. I've said this a million times. The defense, they might feel like they got fired up with another one of those 1-yard slugfests, but I tell you what, by the fourth quarter, they don't feel like doing that shit anymore. That's when they start turning into 6-yard runs, 8-yard runs, and you can kill a clock. We had another nice long fourth quarter drive yesterday. So, yeah, man, whatever they're doing, it's working. You play within yourself and you play good, solid, fundamental football. You don't need to be spectacular.
No.
So there. So I'm going to give my game ball. So that's what I gave my game ball to. What about your goat ball?
I'm going to have to say DeAndre Carter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because there's really. I mean, we didn't do a defense game ball. We can do that later.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we can. Just
Just
the offensive goat ball.
because he's starting to struggle a little bit catching the kickoffs or punt returns. He fumbled the other week, and he almost did it twice in this game. I can't think of anybody else to give it to, but he almost. I'm going. Okay, yeah, you're right. Shit,
that's
yeah.
mine.
And I even thought about that fucking
bonehead.
shit earlier. I was going to give it to him. But Andre Carter almost broke one. I don't know if you caught that, but he almost broke one. He somebody just barely got his foot. He had the kicker to beat, and that was it.
Yep, he would have too. That was a nice lane that opened up on that play.
Yeah, he almost got one. And you saw him pout after that. I like it when he pouts because he's pissed off. You know, like a little kid, like taking his ball and going home.
Pouting.
He almost broke one. But yeah, I mean, other than that, him and Brandon Sheriff definitely deserves
well
ball.
He got his muff back, but and he's really been picking it up in the offense as well. So I'm not going to come down on DeAndre Carter, but Brandon Sheriff, he gets mine. I mean, dude, you're an all-pro, right? Although I honestly don't know how.
I don't either. I mean, no
I
offense,
don't either.
But yeah, I actually take all offense you want, but he should not have been an all-pro. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, if they want to say so, that's fine, but show me why. Show me what made him any better than some of the other really good guards that are out there. And, you know, I'm getting tired of Mr. All-Pro whiffing big penalties. I mean, you can say that Gibson wouldn't have gone 40 yards up the sidelines without the holding penalty, and you probably be right. The fact of the matter is, you're holding.
I don't even know that. Brandon was in perfect position. All he had to do was just push him out the fucking way. But instead he held him. I think we would have gotten that. He would have still got that big run if he didn't hold him.
So who gets your defensive game ball?
Landon Collins. You know, we beat up on Landon Collins a lot earlier this season, but he earned it.
He deserved it.
Yeah, he absolutely did. But he deserves this game ball for this week because he was all over the field making plays. I think him and Cam Curl played a fucking fantastic game yesterday too. He had that one pass interference.
That was kind of ticky-tack, I thought.
Yeah, I thought so too. But Cam Curl played a hell of a game. He should have had. I wish he would have gotten that interception, but it was a good play on the ball. But I'm gonna give it to Landon Collins instead of Cam Curl.
I'm gonna give mine to John Allen because you might as well. I mean, the dude played another dominant game right up front. Him and Payne both had good games in the middle there. And that allowed the defensive ends, even though they didn't really cause a whole lot of ruckus, they did collapse the pocket quite a bit on Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
and he has escapability.
They kept Russell Wilson in check, and you can't ask anything more from those two, you know. For their skill sets.
I'd give a nod to Cole Holcomb. Dude was flying around. He was around the ball a lot.
Yeah, and he recovered the fumble. Oh, he had Jamin Davis had a nice open field tackle.
He had a couple of nice open field tackles. He closes and the guy goes down.
He's fast.
I really want to see a lot more of him. Once he starts to be able to make the right reads, is what Del Rio said.
Yeah,
which is
just getting more comfortable with it, you know. And it's I think. Listen, Del Rio's defense, especially on the linebackers, it's not an easy scheme. It's not an easy scheme to learn. And we said this in the offseason after he got drafted. You need to hold your expectations on Jamin Davis. His second year is going to be much better than his first year.
I hope so.
Getting thrown into a Jack Del Rio's defense playing middle linebacker, it's hard. It's a hard ask for anybody.
Didn't he? E.J. Henderson from Maryland, wasn't he Jack Del Rio's middle linebacker up in Minnesota? That dude.
I don't know if he was a middle linebacker. I know he was a line. I don't know if he was a middle linebacker though.
I think he was, but then again, I'm old. So who gets your defensive goat ball? Yeah.
A defensive goat ball. That's a good question. I guess McCain.
He had a couple of bonehead plays.
Yeah. I think McCain would get one.
McCain let the first big play get past him.
Yeah.
Because he completely fucked it up on who he was supposed to take after in his zone. He just completely
and there was
whiffed on
one
who he
that
was supposed to follow.
Jackson. Jackson was supposed
Traded
to
him
off, and that's what that caused that one big ass play. I thought William Jackson is playing very, very good. Since the bye week.
You didn't even hear his name yesterday or his receivers.
Yeah, because he locked him down. Like watching on TV is one thing, but you being at the stadium, you can see the whole entire field. And Jackson has been locking his receivers down. Fuller played a good game as well too.
He's really been coming on in the entire last month, man. I've really liked what I've seen out of him. I'm going to give my defensive goat ball to DeShazer Everett because, God damn it, you got 15 seconds left in the motherfucking game. 15 seconds left in the motherfucking game. You can't let that happen. You just can't let that happen. I don't give a shit how many ways we bailed you out. You can't let that happen. Just simple as that. You can't let that happen. Yeah. I think it's 59 David Mayo. I'm going to give him a fucking PUE too for his 2 pathetic attempts at that goddamn onside kick. Jesus Christ. The first one that bounced up over his shoulder, I can see. But again, why is he there?
Yeah, got no clue.
What the hell is he doing there? I got to figure out who our special teams coach is because we have now had multiple block kicks on the year. Nate Katzer, all right, he and I are gonna have
he's supposed to be like a top special teams coach too.
I like our punt coverages. I like our punt returns. I like our kick returns. But God damn it, we've got kicks blocked. All over the place. And Jesus fucking Christ, you get stupid mistakes like that. So, I special teams. I'm from the old George Allen school. They can win you a football game, and you got to play them right. And you got to play them tight. And you can't have mistakes because they can be devastating.
Yeah.
Devastating.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's about all I got for the big victory Tuesday. You look beat.
Yeah, I am beat, hungover, beat, tired. Gotta wake up.
We don't have Keith to make fun of. Now see, Keith didn't twerk after the game last night.
No.
So if we lose against the fucking Raiders,
But I did twerk. You didn't get the video, you didn't see the video?
I did see the video. I'm not going to tell you where I saw the video, but it's making its rounds pretty quickly. But yeah, I saw that video, but it's some of you people out there, you think I'm kidding. You have got the next week when we play the Raiders, whatever seat you were in when we won this game and we won last week and we won against Tampa Bay, you have got to be in that seat.
Yeah.
Whatever pair of underwear you were wearing, you got to wear them. And if you have a pair of socks, you got to wear that same pair of socks. And if you fucking twerk up the goddamn steps and with the fucking band after a victory, then you got to do it after every victory. Otherwise, you fucked everything up. Screwing with the natural order of things here.
Yeah,
I'm disappointed in it.
I just giving you fair warning. I'm calling for a loss.
Of course you are.
I'm calling for losses the whole goddamn rest of the year.
God damn. Could you imagine if Jesse was a weatherman? Everybody just hide because it's just going to be the worst fucking sprinkles ever. My God. No matter what, it's going to be cloudy and you're all going to die.
So acid rain.
All right, so we're back on Saturday. Is that right?
Saturday.
Yeah, we're back on Saturday this week, so we have an oddball schedule there.
Yeah, I gotta teach class this week. It's in the evening, so I mean we can do it when I get home at 8:00, but
I don't know what you're going to be teaching. What are you teaching?
It's the safety OSHA stuff.
Safety?
Yeah.
He's got the drunks in there, the people that got busted by the cops. Now here is your driving safety class. All right,
it's for it's just government stuff, new hires and this
a whole week of OSHA training.
Yeah,
to maintain football fields.
No, it's for the whole.
I guess it's got a lot of equipment.
It's for the whole department.
A whole week of OSHA training. I'll tell you what, they should just call this a nap. I get to have a nap every night.
But if they fail my test, they have to take the class over again. So.
Oh, you are such a bastard.
It's not me. It's the fucking state regulations.
No, you should. You should buy yourself like a riding crop. Go to a saddlery store and buy a riding crop and pop it up under your arm like that and walk around snapping it at people. You will not look at other people's papers. You will listen to me when I speak. Yo, Did you bring enough chewing gum for everybody? All right, well, then go teach your class. We will talk to everybody on Saturday. Happy Victory Tuesday. Happy Victory Week. Don't look for ways to shit on this. If I hear one of you people talking about, draft position, fuck off.
Yeah,
we win.
no.
And we're sitting at number 7.
No,
Right
we control our own destiny. And let's talk
Isn't that
before we
nice?
go. Let's talk about that for
Yeah.
a second. Just think about it.
Okay. All right.
We have the Raiders next week, and to me, this upcoming game, it's not a must win right now.
Well, it's an out of conference game.
It's not a must win. We got two games
Philadelphia.
I'm not sure, but we got 2 games against Philly, 2 games against Dallas, and a game against the Giants. Philly's just lost to the Giants. Dallas is COVID central right now. They're not even going to have their fucking coach. I think the New Orleans game is not a gimme game for Dallas. Dan Quinn's going to be head coaching that game, and we all know Dan Quinn's shitty as a fucking head coach. I mean,
he tried to catch COVID, but right as soon as it really started to sink into him, he gave up.
Yeah,
it got away from him.
So, and Taysom Hill is actually going to be back under center. And I expect a lot of trickery plays. And who fucking knows?
Ooh, Taysom Hill is going to be under the center. Look, everybody, rice cakes. Rice cakes and ice water. Yeah, trickery, because the guy can't play quarterback. You're going to have to do something. Speaking of guys who can't play quarterback and rely on trickery, fucking Robert Griffin III is going to release
what a fucking douche, clown, fucking bitch, bag, fucking asshole.
Yeah.
What little respect I had for him, I've lost it. I mean,
I lost it the day that he fucking dumped his wife, man, and ran off with that girl.
He's despicable. He is a despicable human being.
Yeah, might as well fucking cash in, though, brother. I mean, that's what he's there for.
But he's talking about sexual harassment. He's trying to cash in on the backs of the fucking females that are actually fucking getting hurt over this situation. What a clown ass bitch.
I suffered from sexual harassment when I was with the Redskins. Kyle Shanahan kept making fun of my butt. He said it was too big to be able to run as fast as I do. I didn't like it. It made me feel stupid. I felt bad. Anyway, I saw those girls that were there protesting, but it didn't look like anybody was talking to them.
Yeah.
That's a damn shame. They wore Redskins colors.
Yeah.
Like, if you really want to blend in and not be seen by anybody.
It's kind of
I wish them all the best, but you got to have better messaging. You got to have a better way to bring the message. You can't go to the game and expect people to leave, and you can't wear the same color that everybody else is wearing.
Yeah.
You really want to stand out in the crowd, wear some Seahawks colors. At least people will look at it and see what it is. I don't know how to tell you what I've never had to protest. So
yeah, it definitely could have been done better. The message could have got out a little bit better. But more power to them. They're trying, and
there was only 2 of them there. You can't really get a message out by 2 people standing there. You just can't.
Yeah, no, it's you're 100% right about that. So
you need to find some professional protesters to give you some tips as to how to go about doing this.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be flippant either. I just, fuck if I know how to do it, but I don't think that was the way to do it.
Yeah. So I agree.
Good luck to him. Anything that can get rid of Dan Snyder, I'm all for it. That's great with me. But we were talking about the most Redskins things ever, right? And I'm in the car the other day, and I thought, I got to dreaming, and I was way dreaming. Okay, if we win this, then we control our own destiny. We win this, and what if the Washington football team somehow fucking managed to win a Super Bowl and then change their name like 2 weeks later? So forever, there's this Washington football team Super Bowl that's going to be stuck in the record books.
Yeah,
I mean, look.
Listen, we ain't gonna win the Super Bowl, but it's which fucking you were definitely.
It's the season, baby.
You were definitely dreaming, but I mean,
ask Santa Claus for it.
Oh, you know what? This before we started podcast, I went back and looked at our records of that before the season. Okay, I had going into the bye or after the bye 3-6 at Carolina 4-6. Okay. I was very close. I mean, you had us fucking winning 12 games. So, I mean, you had us 6-4.
It's still not possible. We can do 11.
And Monday, the Seattle Monday night game, 4-7. Me and Keith were pretty damn close. The game off, but pretty goddamn close.
Yeah. Now,
so we expected.
Tell me the lottery numbers.
We expected to be at this position. Where were our record? If you go back and think about it, most sane people expected us to be right around, in between 4 and 6 wins up through this week. You know what I mean?
I have a set.
So this, you had us at 7-4.
I'm not saying that's pretty well known.
But it's kind of how we got here that kind of put us off in the beginning of the season. But
it looked like a fucked up mess is why everybody went berserk, because it looked so inept.
We are definitely.
It's one thing to compete in those games and be that record, but we didn't compete.
But we're competing now.
Oh hell yeah! Now we've turned it almost 180 degrees. Now I don't want to say a dominant football team, even though last night was a dominant football performance, but we're on the verge of something like that.
Yeah,
they really could turn it on and have a nice run here.
Tell you what,
predictions, even though I predicted a lot of victories in the regular season, my whole goal for the season: win a playoff game, get in there and win a playoff game. After that, everything's cake. But win one.
I tell you what,
to the next level.
If we somehow manage to win on Sunday, a short week, going up against a team that's less injured than us. Yeah, they're probably going to be without Darren Waller, but they have their other complement of running backs and receivers. They're at home. They're on 10 days rest. If we somehow win that game, we're going to the playoffs.
I hope so. I would be very happy, because Keith promised is going to give you a ball tickle. And I lost that piece of audio. I couldn't believe it. I'll have to go back and cut it back out again. So we need video of that.
Even though I honestly, and all jokes aside, I mean, I'm calling for a loss the rest of the way, but that's just hedging my bets here.
Right. You can't call a loss against the Giants, dude. Come on.
Okay, maybe.
Well,
not.
at least at this point, you couldn't. Who knows what's going to be going on by then?
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of football left. There's a third of the season left.
And we got players dropping like flies too. That's one thing that I am concerned about.
What's up with Schweitzer? Did you see anything about him today?
Not yet. No. That's a big loss, because I'm sorry. Keith Ishmael. Good story, but he's not a center, not a starting.
He wasn't great. Right. He wasn't great, but he stepped in. And I mean, that was the thing that I was most disappointed with DeShazer Everett, because look, dude, everybody else on the team is doing the next man up. So you have to stop that play with 15 seconds to go in the game. Next man up.
Yeah.
But that would be a big loss. It looked like he turned his ankle, which, for me, walk it off. But for a big guy like that, it could be one of those high ankle sprains that really could have fucked up some shit.
Or it could be a dislocation. Who knows? Brain popped out of place real quick. But injuries are mounting, but we are getting players back like a Logan Thomas and Curtis Samuel. So we'll
Mr. Groin.
We'll see. It's definitely we're in the driver's seat. We can control our own destiny. And as fans, what more could you ask for?
I'll tell you what. How sweet would it be if we managed to make the Super Bowl because fucking Kirk Cousins lined up behind his guard on fire with almost no time left to go in the game? Oh,
leave old Kirky alone. Tom Brady's done that. Tom Brady's done that before too. So
not in the fourth quarter with the game on the line like
that's
that.
Probably right. Probably right.
Although he forgot it was fourth down against Chicago last year, but he was 43 years old, so we'll give him a little pass there. All right, so onward and upward, man. Let's hope we get the Raiders.
Yeah,
let's hope we get them.
The Raiders.
Let's get them on a bad day.
It's gonna be tough, and we'll talk about that on Saturday with our next pod. But we got shit stacked against us. The scheduling has not done us any favor. It's kind of unfair if you look at it. You got the Raiders on 10 days rest, and we only have 6 days rest, and then the following week, I think Dallas is coming off. Yeah, because they
play on Thursday again.
10 days rest, and then the following week, Philly's coming off their bye. So we kind of got the short end of the stick.
That's all right. I'll tell you what, you see the video of Ron walking off the field last night?
Fuck
Where he's
yeah.
fucking yelling at the fans. Fuck yeah, let's fucking go. You know, okay.
Let's fucking go. Yeah.
That's what you got to see, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not about, you see the guy in the fight that looks like he's tired, but he's kicking the shit out of everybody.
Yeah. We got the biggest heart
so
in the fucking whole kingdom.
Let's do it. Keep punching him. That's what I like to see.
Yeah.
All right, then. Well, we'll see you Saturday.
Yeah. You can catch me at Jesse's24 on Twitter.
I'm at Bang Radio Hour. Keith is at KG Skins 26, and he's not here today because he had some family things that he needed to take care of, which I think means that he was probably staying overnight at Jason's house after the game last night. Got a little cozy.
Oh shit!
All right, say your thing.
All right, hail to the team.